Did you know that fasting, when done the wrong way, can accelerate aging, disrupt your hormones, and even damage your metabolism after 40? Yes, something that should be healthy and transformative might actually be silently harming your body. This is especially true for women going through menopause, feeling constantly fatigued, struggling to lose weight, or battling anxiety every day. And the worst part? Many women are doing exactly the type of fasting that sabotages their results and puts their long-term health at serious risk. In this video, I'll reveal which fasting method is doing the damage, why it's so harmful, and most importantly, what you can do to protect your health, restore your energy, and finally see real results in a safe and sustainable way. Like this video. Share it with other women and let me know in the comments. Have you tried fasting and felt your health actually got worse? Your experience could help someone else. Let's discover how to use fasting to support our health, not work against it. One of the most common and dangerous mistakes women over 40 make is adopting long daily fasts without any kind of personalization or strategic approach. That means fasting for 16, 18, or even 24 hours every single day, thinking that the longer you fast, the better. This rigid method, often copied from influencers or adapted from male-focused protocols, completely ignores the hormonal and metabolic realities of the female body, especially during perimenopause and menopause. Women's bodies react very differently to stress, and prolonged continuous fasting without guidance is perceived by the body as chronic stress. This leads to elevated cortisol levels, disrupted thyroid function, impaired leptin and insulin production, and over time, the opposite of the desired effect: weight gain, fatigue, muscle loss, and even sleep and mood disturbances. This mistake is rooted in the false belief that fasting is a magical solution. But for women over 40, it must be approached as a therapeutic tool, not as punishment or a strict routine. Without that awareness, fasting becomes a silent saboteur. Have you tried long daily fasts? How did your body respond? Why this type of fasting is so dangerous after 40. After age 40, woman's body begins to undergo significant hormonal changes. There's a gradual decline in estrogen and progesterone levels, hormones that directly influence metabolism, hunger regulation, sleep quality, mood, and insulin sensitivity. When long fasting is done continuously, it can amplify these hormonal imbalances. For example, low estrogen levels already reduce insulin sensitivity, and excessive fasting can worsen this resistance, making it harder to lose weight and increasing the risk of metabolic disorders like type 2 diabetes. Prolonged fasting in women over 40 can also impair thyroid function, which is essential for keeping metabolism active. When the body senses a constant shortage of nutrients, it slows down metabolic processes to conserve energy. The result? Instead of burning fat, your body stores even more. On top of that, elevated cortisol, the stress hormone triggered by excessive fasting, can lead to muscle loss, abdominal fat accumulation, insomnia, and anxiety spikes. In other words, the very things you're trying to combat with fasting might actually be caused by it. That's why fasting, when done without considering the hormonal context of the mature female body, stops being a tool for health and becomes a silent threat to well-being. It's very common for women over 40 to mistake their body's warning signs for just part of aging, when in reality, those signs may indicate that fasting is backfiring. When fasting starts to hurt instead of help, you may experience persistent fatigue even after a full night's sleep, and a constant sense of irritability with no clear explanation. Your body might also show physical signs like hair loss, brittle nails, and dull skin, often linked to nutritional deficiencies. Many women report insomnia or fragmented sleep, which affects the body's ability to recover. Muscle mass may decrease and weight can plateau or even increase, especially around the belly, even when following a clean diet. You may also notice increased anxiety, sugar cravings after breaking the fast, irregular periods, or worsening menopause symptoms. A constant feeling of cold, even in warm environments. It's another clue that your metabolism is slowing down. When these symptoms appear, it's essential to pause and truly listen to what your body is trying to say. Sticking to the same fasting routine without adjustments, hoping it will eventually kick in, may only deepen the imbalanced how the female metabolism changes with age and impacts fasting as women age. Their bodies go through profound and often subtle transformations starting around age 40, especially with the onset of perimenopause and menopause. There's a natural decline in estrogen and progesterone production, hormones that directly affect metabolism, fat burning, appetite, and sleep. This hormonal decrease contributes to a loss of lean muscle mass, which slows down the basal metabolic rate. In other words, the body burns fewer calories just to maintain basic functions, which makes it easier to gain fat even when eating less. Moreover, the female body becomes more sensitive to physiological stress, and fasting without a proper strategy is perceived as a threat. This triggers a defense response: increased cortisol, the stress hormone. Excess cortisol interferes with insulin action, disrupts blood sugar control, promotes visceral fat accumulation, and impairs thyroid function. When fasting is rigidly imposed on a body already adapting hormonally, it can lead to a sharp drop in energy, stalled weight loss, and overall worsening of metabolic health. That's why fasting must respect female physiology. What works for a young body or for men might be exactly what disrupts the system of a mature woman. Understanding these changes is the first step toward adapting fasting wisely and reaping its true benefits. One of the biggest misconceptions among women who fast after 40 is thinking that success lies only in holding out longer without eating. Because of this, many fast at random times without planning, and break the fast with nutrient-poor or excessively calorie-dense foods. This pattern confuses metabolism, causes insulin spikes, and encourages fat storage, especially around the abdomen, which is already more resistant in this life stage. Another common mistake is associating fasting with extreme restriction. Women who drastically reduce calorie and nutrient intake even during eating windows create a constant state of deprivation, which can cause muscle loss, fatigue, difficulty concentrating, and even severe hormonal imbalances. This behavior also increases the risk of binge eating, completely sabotaging the benefits expected from fasting. Ignoring the body's signals is another critical error. Many women push through fasting protocols despite symptoms like dizziness, irritability, insomnia, or reduced physical and mental performance, believing it is part of the process. This disconnect from internal cues prevents necessary adjustments and turns fasting into chronic stress instead of a health tool. Additionally, blindly copying ready-made protocols, often designed for men or younger athletes, without adapting to the hormonal and metabolic phase of the mature woman is a common trap. The female body requires personalized strategies that honor its individuality and current life stage. Recognizing these mistakes is the first step toward turning them into learning opportunities. When done with awareness and knowledge, fasting can indeed be a powerful ally. But it should never be treated as punishment or an inflexible standard. Smart fasting: how to adapt fasting to the reality of the female body. Fasting can be extremely beneficial for women over 40 as long as it's done intelligently and respects the unique physiology of this life stage. The first step in adapting fasting is understanding that it doesn't need and shouldn't be done daily. Alternating fasting days with days of nutritious, well-rounded eating is an effective strategy to avoid metabolic stress and keep the body's hormones balanced. Another important adaptation is choosing shorter fasting windows, like 12 or 14 hours, especially during times of greater hormonal fluctuation. These gentler fasting periods still provide significant benefits, such as improved insulin sensitivity and digestion, without overwhelming the body. It's also crucial to prioritize overnight fasting through the night, and breaking the fast the next morning with a meal rich in protein and fiber tends to be much more effective and safer for the mature woman during eating periods. The focus should be on quality, not just quantity. Meals rich in high-quality protein, healthy fats, a variety of vegetables. And anti-inflammatory foods help stabilize hormones, preserve muscle mass, and supply the nutrients the body needs to function. Optimally. Additionally, listening to your body and adjusting based on symptoms is essential. On days of high stress, poor sleep, or during your menstrual cycle, reducing or even pausing fasting may be the best choice. Smart fasting is not about rigidity, it's strategic flexibility, based on tuning into your body and respecting where you are in your journey. This human-centered approach transforms fasting into a true tool for longevity and vitality. When aligned with the needs of women, fasting stops being a risk and becomes a powerful act of self-care. What to do now to correct and boost the benefits of fasting? If you've realized you've been making some of the mistakes mentioned earlier, don't blame yourself. The most important thing is to become aware and adjust your path. Step is to pause and reassess. Ask yourself, is my body responding well to fasting? Do I feel lighter, more energized, mentally clear, and sleeping well? Or am I just pushing through while my body sends warning signs? From this reflection, it's best to start with gentler fasting windows, like 12 hours, and watch how your body responds. After a few weeks, if the signs are positive, you can try longer fasting periods, but always with breaks and flexibility, never as a daily obligation. The female body needs variation, rest, and attention. It's also time to prioritize the quality of your food. During eating windows, focus on lean proteins, a variety of vegetables, healthy fats, whole grains, and anti-inflammatory foods. Avoid ultra-processed items, sugar, and excessive caffeine, which only increase metabolic stress. Hydration is another cornerstone. Drink plenty of water, enjoy natural teas, and, if needed, consider supplements guided by a healthcare professional. And remember, movement is fundamental. Light activities like walking, yoga, or strength training help preserve muscle mass, stabilize mood, fight, and improve your response to fasting. If possible, work with a healthcare professional who understands female physiology. A personalized protocol, tailored to your needs, will make all the difference in your results. Fasting, and practiced with intelligence and respect, can be transformative. But for that to happen, it needs to be aligned with your body, not against it. Fasting can indeed be a powerful tool for women over 40. But it only delivers its benefits when done wisely, with respect for your body and awareness of your current life stage. When fasting becomes an internal battle, bringing exhaustion, anxiety, mental fog, or stagnation, it has stopped being an ally. And that doesn't mean your body is failing. It means it's trying to protect you. The best strategy begins with a pause to observe. Shortening your fasting window for a few days can help your body rebalance. Start your day with a nutritious meal rich in protein and fiber, which helps stabilize insulin and provides true satiety. If you've had a rough night or a stressful day, allow yourself to eat mindfully without guilt. Hydration is also a powerful key. Drink more water, savor natural teas, and listen to how your body responds. And don't forget movement. A simple walk can reactivate your metabolism, relieve tension, and improve your fasting response. This is true smart fasting, fasting that honors the woman you are today. A fasting approach that nourishes, strengthens, and adapts to your rhythm, because it's not about resisting. It's about evolving with ease, vitality, and wisdom.